Hello everybody, and welcome to my first ever live stream. And well, this is going to be something new and different for me. I've never done a live stream before, but we're going to be looking at the new track by Zornheim. Now this is a band I covered, well, about 2.5 years ago now, not long after I first started this channel. I looked at a track called The Opposed off their first album, where hatred dwells and darkness reigns, and I absolutely loved their material. And you know, I subsequently went on and did a review of another track of theirs, a track called Whom the Night Brings, I think it was called. Yeah, Whom the Night Brings. And then I did like a review of the album and the accompanying graphic novel that came along with it. And I was very, very excited by this band. I absolutely loved the music that they were producing. And since then, I've been really looking forward to when they release some new material. And today happens to be the day that they are releasing a new track off their upcoming album, which is called the Zornheim Sleep Experiments, which actually follows on from their previous album. The first album, it was a concept album where they were each track was talking about a specific inmate within a mental asylum, a Zornheim mental asylum. And this new album coming out, like I said, the Zornheim Sleep Experiment, which is due for release October 22nd, by the way, follows on from that. This album, again, takes place within the Zornheim mental asylum. Now, there is a little bit of information I'm going to tell you about this. I will also repeat this after we've looked at the track. It says the album follows on from the previous album where hatred dwells and darkness reigns. This time it delves deep into the lower levels of the asylum where, as the album title suggests, sleep experiments are being conducted on the patients or inmates of the asylum. As with the previous album, there will be an accompanying graphic novel. This is the one from the first album. There will be an accompanying graphic novel to the new album, which I'm very excited for, because the actual graphic novel that accompanied it was very, very good. It was very enjoyable. You know, it was well drawn. The artwork on it was phenomenal. And, you know, I've got to say, the actual artwork for the new album cover, I think, is absolutely astounding. I mean, just look at that. That is beautiful. So, you know, again, an accompanying graphic novel. However, this will be slightly different. With the original graphic novel from the first album, it contains several different stories of each patient, whereas the new one will just be one singular story rather than several small ones. And this time it's being structured more like by an hourly intervals, like the period of time that these experiments are taking place, rather than studying each individual patient like the first one. And with each track of the album, there will be accompanying notes for like what happened during the experiment at certain times. Whereas the original album, inside the CD booklet cover and also the graphic novel that accompanied it, there was like notes about the actual patients that they were talking about in each track. So, you know, that's something that I really like about this band. You know, the amount of attention that they've put into making this, making their music, creating this album, is really very exciting, you know, because they've obviously put a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of thought into what they're doing, and it's very, very exciting for me. So there we go. Now, what I can tell you about the album, pre-orders are actually up now. I will put a link in, or there is a link in the description where you can go and pre-order the album if that interests you. It is a 10-track album, and I can tell you excuse me, there are tracks Corpus Vile, An Evil Within, Dead Silence, Keep the Devil Away, which is actually the track that they're releasing today in just a matter of minutes. Slumber Comes in Time, Black 9, The Veiling of the Bettelheim's Eye, The Revelation, Keep Cutting, and The Madness That Lurks Within. So that's the 10-track album. Like I said, we're looking at track 4, Keep the Devil Away. Now, the devil in this instance is actually the doctor that's conducting the experiments, so I'm told. So there's that. So, yeah, like I said, I'm very, very excited for this. I don't know what else I can say about it at the moment. Well, we've still got about 3 minutes before the actual track itself is unleashed, so we've got a little bit of time before that happens. But again, I am very, very excited for this. And as I said before, this is my first ever live stream, so I don't know how well I'm going to do at this, and if things go wrong, I really hope they don't, but, you know, if things go wrong, I do apologise. But I don't know what else to say at the moment. I've still got a couple of minutes before the track comes online. And hello, Joshua. Nice to see you. So, yeah, I mean, Zorn himself, the founder and creator of this band, actually suggested to me that I do a live stream of this, so I'm very excited that he actually suggested this for me. So, you know, it's been a while since I've actually uploaded a video because I've had a few personal problems going on. I've had a bit of trouble with my mental health recently, so it seemed a bit ironic that the first video that I do coming back is going to be talking about a mental asylum. But yeah, so we've still got a couple of minutes. It says 60 seconds. So what I'll do, I'll bring up the thing here. Well, maybe not quite yet. I'll wait a few minutes before I bring up the video. But very, very excited to see what's happening. Don't know what to say at the moment because I'm still waiting for this video, and maybe I started the stream just a little bit too early, but I've still got about a minute or so before the video starts. But, you know, when the first album came out, I was totally stoked for this. I can't remember, someone actually suggested that I check this band out. Cool. I've lost track where I was going. I mean, the first album came out in 2017, so it's been a good 4 years since I actually last released anything. And, you know, I'm actually friends with Zorn on Facebook, and I kept pestering, you know, when's the new stuff coming out? When's the new stuff coming out? He kept going, you know, it's coming. Just be patient. Just wait. So, you know, I've really been looking forward to this for a very long time. And the new track will be imminent. Like I said, the track is called Keep the Devil Away. And the actual artwork for the front cover of this specific track looks very, very good. Again, it looks like it's following the artwork from the graphic novels. I don't know who does the artwork for it. It probably says somewhere in the first graphic novel, but I don't know who does it. But, you know, I love the artwork that they've used, and like I said, the artwork for the actual album cover is just astounding. I mean, just look at that. That is phenomenal, you know. And, I mean, the front cover of the original album looks really, really cool. And, oh, there we go. We've got the... that's really, really quite loud. So we'll turn that down. Let's turn that down because that's very, very loud. So, in a matter of minutes, we've got this coming in. The aspect ratio is a bit odd because I've actually got this on my second monitor, which isn't a widescreen monitor, it's a very, very old one. So, you know what, I'm actually going to mute that for a little bit because that music's kind of annoying. But I forgot what I was saying now. Hey, there's Bendler, the vocalist for Zornheim. Well, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? They actually changed record labels very, very recently. Because they used to be on Non-Servium, I believe, and they've moved on to a new record label just very recently. Alright, so we've got 25 seconds incoming. Like I said, I've never done a live stream before in my life, so this will be the first time I've ever done one. And thankfully, something I'm very thankful for is there was actually lyrics available for the song as well, which, as everybody knows by now, I really enjoy. But here we go, we've got the new track incoming. Noble Demon, that's the one, I couldn't remember the name. But here we go, new track incoming, let's have a look. I hope the volume's coming through. Oh, what a start. Wow, wow, that was that was simply amazing. I mean, I've been waiting for so long for this track, and it did not disappoint. You know, that was just simply amazing. Some very unexpected elements going in there. I mean, when those clean vocals came in, that took me completely by surprise, but it was just so brilliantly executed. And again, you know, Bendel providing some extremely well executed vocals. You know, it's just amazing. You know, they've got those melodic elements coming back in, you know, symphonic elements as well. From what I understand, they actually brought in choirs and, you know, I believe a string quartet or a four-piece quartet, a four-piece quartet. That just makes no sense, to actually accompany them on this album. And, you know, in the first album as well, they had a lot of strings and like symphonic elements in it as well, and it just sounds amazing. You know, I've been waiting so long for this. I've been pestering Zorn for ages to let me know when something new is coming out, and that was just phenomenal. And like I said at the very beginning of the stream, this album, you know, it's a concept album again, and it's talking about, well, the album is called the Zornheim Sleep Experiment, where they're taking like the patients and the inmates of the asylum into the like lower levels of the asylum and conducting experiments on them, sleep experiments, probably very similar to the sleep experiments that were done in Nazi Germany at one point, where they basically cruelly tortured people, keeping them awake for God knows how long, and then doing all sorts of experiments on them to see how it affected them. I imagine it's probably similar to that in some sort of way. And like I said, this track called Keep the Devil Away, the devil himself is, you know, what the patient call the doctor being Dr. Gutzman, I believe. Now, the song itself, as you might have heard, was almost a conversation between a patient called ZSES04, he's one of the inmates, one of the patients, and Dr. Gutzman, the doctor himself. And like I said, I did have the lyrics here, and it says, "He is the one tormenting me that tries to break my soul, caught in a circle of doubt where trust cannot be found. He is the one that's absent, watching the weaker minds. My eyes beg for compassion, which his minion denies." And then it comes into this sort of back and forth between the doctor and the patient. It says, "Don't close your eyes." The patient says, "Anxiety is rampant here." The doctor says, "I'm right here." Patient, whispers echo through the dark. The doctor, "Don't turn on me." The patient, "Existence is in a permanent state." The doctor, "You cannot hide." The patient, "Of fear." And then, you know, in came those clean vocals where he said, "Keep the devil away, keep him astray, hear us pray, hear what I say." And then that chorus was repeated a few more times, and going into those harsher, brutal vocals, which, you know, again, fantastic. Then it comes back in with the patient. He's the one that's leading this godforsaken test. You can ignore his power and free us from this hell. And then it goes back into that conversation. "Don't close your eyes. Anxiety is rampant here. I'm right here. Whispers echo through the dark. Don't turn on me. Existence in a permanent state. You cannot hide. Of fear." Then back into that, "Keep the devil astray. Keep the devil away. Keep him astray. Hear us pray. Hear what I say." And, you know, that gets repeated a few more times again. And then it goes, "It is now or never. This is your last chance. I hear him come. He's at the door. The devil is back." So the devil is back means the doctor is returning, possibly for more further experiments, because, again, the devil being the doctor. Again, fantastic piece of music. I absolutely loved this. It was just phenomenal. And like I say, I've been waiting ever since I did the first reaction to The Opposed back in October of 2018, I think it was. You know, I've been really looking forward to this, and, you know, it was definitely worth the wait. I do wish it kind of came a little bit sooner, but again, like I said before, the amount of care and attention that they put into this music, the fact that they write all these backstories, they do an accompanying graphic novel, the fact that they do all like these notes for like patient notes for the first album, or the like case study notes for each track on this album, the fact that they put that much care and attention into the music that they create is just something to be commended. You know, it's really exciting, really fascinating, because I can't think of any other band that actually puts that much detail into the music they're creating. You know, to actually print extra material, extra media to explain the music that they're creating, to explain the stories behind what they're doing. And, you know, I've said many, many times that I love songs, I love music that actually has a meaning, that has a story. And, you know, they put so much care and attention into it. It just makes it phenomenal. And, you know, the performance on top of it, again, fantastic. I can't fault it in any way. It just sounded... It was pure brilliance. Absolutely loved it. And once this album comes out, you can guarantee I'm getting my hands on it. If, or when the graphic novel rears its head, I'm going to be getting that as well. Because, you know, I mean, I've got the originals. You know, I can't get one and not the other. I need to complete the set, as it were. And like I said, the quality of the first graphic novel was fantastic. You know, the print quality of it was great, the art quality of it was great. And again, I'm going to mention the artwork for the new album cover. Again, I just love it. It's just fantastic. I mean, the picture at the top there, I'm assuming that's the Doctor himself with a weird sort of bag on his head. Kind of reminds me of something from Little Nightmares video game. But you know, the artwork for the front cover is just phenomenal, and the artwork in the graphic novel for the first graphic novel was just amazing. There was a couple of spelling mistakes in it, which I'm, you know, not too bothered about. But, you know, again, the fact that they put so much effort into what they're creating, you know, it's not surprising that it's taken this long. And of course, we've had this whole worldwide problem going on as well, so that probably didn't help much either. But, you know, it's better to take time over creating great art rather than trying to rush it out. You know, you get some bands where they release a new album like every year, and you can hear the decline in quality in the music because they're just pushing stuff out just because they want to make more money. Whereas here, they're creating something. They're taking their time over it to make sure that it's something great. And it works. You know, if you create something this good that sounds this amazing, you can't really complain. But you know what? I'm really not sure what else I can say on that, because, you know, I've got very limited information. You know, I've told you everything I can already. Like I said, the Zornheim Sleep Experiment is due for release October 22nd. There are links in the description to where you can pre-order that if you would like to. I know I sure as hell will. And the fact that this also carries on from the previous album with, you know, investigating further into the Zornheim mental asylum and, you know, delving into the bowels of the asylum and the way that they're experimenting on the inmates. You know, it's brilliant, the fact that they're continuing this story, and it just makes it great. You know that they've taken the time, you know that they've thought about this. Fantastic. But I don't know what else I can say about it, other than the fact that it is absolutely brilliant, and I highly recommend anybody who hasn't heard of them before, go and check out the previous album, because it's a fantastic album. Go and pre-order the new album. You know, it's I think €15 to pre-order it. Like I said, there's a link to where you can pre-order it down below. Don't know what else I can say, so I'm going to have to leave it at that. Now, as this was my first ever live stream, you know, I don't know how well it went. I'm not sure if everything went to plan, but maybe we can do this again in the future with other tracks that I come across. But I can't really think of much else to say, other than I'm just going to once again mention what I always do at the end of my videos, that MetalHead React is a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, a British-based charity whose goal is to put an end to hate crimes, and one of the main facets of that is hate crimes against people of the alternative community, and it's something I believe in very, very strongly. because it's something that gets very widely ignored. Every day we hear about all these other hate crimes like sexism, racism, homophobia, transphobia, religious hatred, ableism, etc. We hear about these every single day, but we never get told about all these violent attacks that happen on people from the alternative community, and these happen all the time. These happen on a daily basis all around the world, and it just gets ignored. The last time there was widespread talk about this was 14 years ago, when Sophie Lancaster and her boyfriend Rob Maltby were violently and brutally attacked by a group of 5 or 6 people who beat them, kicked them, punched them, knocked them to the ground, and brutally assaulted them. They stamped on their heads so violently that they both ended up in comas. Now, thankfully, Rob Maltby, he survived the attack. He was in a coma for about a week and a half. I can't remember exactly how long, but he thankfully survived. Sophie Lancaster, on the other hand, she was in a coma for 13 days before she succumbed to her injuries and she died. Now, I think it was 2 days ago was actually the anniversary of the violent attack of Sophie Lancaster. I believe she was attacked on the 11th and she died on the 24th of this month. And it's something that's just never going to go away. But it's something that needs more attention paid to it. Because, like I said, when this happened, this was all over the news, and rightfully it should have been. But over time, as other news stories came in, it sort of faded into the background. As all things do, it's to be expected. But the thing is, in the 14 years since that's happened, we've heard very little, if anything, about any similar attacks. But there have been hundreds, if not thousands, of similar attacks. Only a couple of years ago, there was a young woman in Glasgow, Scotland, not far from where I live, who was violently and brutally attacked twice on the same night, again by a group of 5 or 6 people. She was violently and brutally assaulted twice. But this wasn't in the news. This wasn't all over Facebook. This wasn't all over social medias. This wasn't in the newspapers. Nothing was said. Not a single thing was said. Because she was a member of the alternative community. Now, if it had been a racially motivated attack, if it had been homophobic, if it had been religiously or whatever, this would have been all over the news. But nothing was said, because this was, again, it was a 21-year-old woman violently attacked because of the music that she listened to, but nothing was said. Now, I can guarantee you, if that young woman had died as a result of that attack, then it would have been all over the news. Then people would have been weeping and crying and saying what a tragedy this is. And that's just wrong. We shouldn't have to wait for someone to lose their life before it gets spoken about. We shouldn't have to wait for someone to die before something gets done. And this is what the Sophie Lancaster Foundation is all about. They want to bring more awareness to the fact that this sort of thing is happening. They don't want to see another family go through what they went through when they had to watch their daughter slowly die over the course of 13 days. So if you'd like to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there's a link to their website in the description below. You can go over there, find out what they're working on at the moment, find out what their main goal is, because they can explain it a lot better than I can. And if you can help them out in any small way, obviously don't feel obligated to do so, but if you can help them out in any small way, whether it be a small donation through their website or something as simple as one of these Sophie wristbands, you can get it from their web store. The smallest amount can make the biggest difference. And the sooner we bring more attention to this, the sooner we get more people talking about this, the sooner we can help to stamp out prejudice, hatred, and intolerance everywhere. But I don't know what else to say, so I'm going to leave it at that. Like I said, this was my first ever live stream. I hope it all went swimmingly well, but I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.